Alright, what's up, YouTube? Just about to go ahead and get this day started. Just got my first order of the day, and I think today I'm going to take you guys along, especially for those of you that are just getting started off with Instacart, just so you can see how I do it. Not 100% sure how it's going to go. I hope to a little bit of insight into exactly the way that it works, and hopefully something that you see or hear, or give you a little bit of a give you some help. So yeah, just got my first order. I'm about to run over to Whole Foods. It's actually a pretty substantial order, so definitely got to get on top of things, get on it. So yeah, man, see y'all in a second. So just pulling up, and I think something that I just thought about, but tip number one definitely has to be, make sure you're on time. You know what I mean? These orders are placed and the customers are given sort of a window. I don't know if they're given exact times, but they're given a window on when their order is going to deliver. So tip number one, be on time. All right, I think tip number two definitely has to be, when you first arrive to the store, scan through the order on your app. Once you accept an order, when you arrive to the location, it's gonna give you on the app, it's gonna give you a list of the things that they're wanting to buy. So scan through the order. If you're familiar with the store, it may not be that big of a deal, but if you're not, just sort of scroll through and see, because I know me personally, initially I would always think that things were going to be in order, and in a lot of situations that's true, but in a lot of cases it's not. So scan through the order and make sure, because like produce is usually listed at the beginning, but then what you'll notice is as you scan through the order, sometimes you may have produce also in the middle and some toward the end. So just scan through and make sure that everything is going to be at least relatively in order, and relatively in an order that's going to allow you to shop the store most efficiently. Tip number three, I think, has to be pay attention to the details. When people are placing orders, especially with things like produce, you're going to make sure you pay attention to the notes. A lot of times they may indicate, like for avocados, they may say, I want ripe avocados, or I want avocados that aren't ripe, because I'm not going to use them for a few days. So pay attention to things like that. Also pay attention to freshness, because that's really, really important. Most stores do a really good job of making sure that the produce is fresh, but every now and then you'll run across produce that isn't exactly fresh. So make sure you pay attention to that, because the last thing you want to do is take people moldy produce. I know me personally, I would never want to receive moldy produce, so make sure you're paying attention to that as well. And yeah, I'm gonna try to, toward the end of this shopping, check back in with y'all and kind of let you see what I have. But this is a really big order. I've got about 50 things to pick, so I'm not gonna be able to vlog this entire thing the way that I had hoped. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna tune back in and let you guys see how everything went, and then I'll take you on the delivery part. I'll let you see how checkout works, and then I'll take you on the delivery part also. So deuces. Thanks. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's the whole process. like I said, this was a pretty sizable order, so took a little bit longer than normal to pull everything. But yeah, that was definitely fun, you know. And like I said before, I enjoy it. Definitely always want to pay attention to the small things, pay attention to the customer's request, read the notes. And then I actually had to also call the customer because one of the things that she requested they didn't have. Some people, some shoppers would probably just go ahead and disregard it. Me personally, I like to call them. And sometimes it's up to your discretion because there's some people who don't want you to call, and ordinarily they'll just not answer the phone. But I do go ahead and call them just to see as to whether or not they want us to make a change or just refund their money. So that's something else that you can keep in mind. At this point, you've shopped the order, you've checked out, and now you're ready to make the delivery. So what happens is once you get to the car, and this is just the way that I do it. Once you get to the car, you'll go ahead and hit I don't remember exactly what it says. It may say delivered. I think it says deliver to customer. You'll swipe that, and then it'll bring up their address. Once it brings up their address, there's a little tab that says navigate. You touch that, and it gives you different options or different routes to their home. I know the area fairly well, so I use it sometimes. Sometimes I don't have to. But yeah, at this point, you'll go ahead and start to navigate to their home. And you'll go ahead and make the delivery. On this particular one, she just wants me to leave the groceries at the door, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll check back with you guys after I've completed the delivery. Deuces. All right, so that's pretty much the process in a nutshell. I was gonna try to film a little bit of the drop-off part, but when I got here, they were actually home. They had asked in the app that we just leave it at the door, but when I got here, they just got back from the airport. She and her husband actually picked their parents up from the airport, so I didn't want to be overly intrusive. And that's something else that you probably want to keep in mind. You always want to make sure that you're taking people's situation into account. Everyone's situation is different. Some people are really, really personable. Some people aren't. So you just kind of want to judge on a case-by-case basis how you approach the people. Sorry about that. I need to put on my seatbelt. All right, so yeah, like I said, that one went really, really well. And the way that it works on the app, once you complete the delivery, usually after about 15 minutes or so, you can look in at the earnings tab, and it'll give you what you made on that order. I'm not real sure. This was a 49-piece order, so I probably did okay. But like I said, that was pretty much it in a nutshell. Don't think I'm gonna do any more filming today. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits because it's getting a little bit tough trying to make sure, you know, I'm filming and doing things in a timely manner. Because, you know, me personally, I pride myself on being able to get people's orders done quick, and that's one thing that people always compliment me on. They're always like, man, you got here fast. And I don't speed around or anything like that when I'm out here driving, but when I'm actually at the store, a lot of these stores I know, because I shop at a lot of the different ones that I'm actually privileged to go to, so I know the store layout and everything, so it usually doesn't take me as long as they give you. And that's another thing that I didn't mention. all of our orders are timed. So at the bottom of the app, you'll see, once you start to do the shopping, you'll see at the bottom where it says goal. It'll give you a goal time, and then the timer will start when you get there. And that's just the time that Instacart actually wants you to have the order pulled in. I've never really gone over. I think I might have gone over a couple times, but by and large, I finished well ahead of the goal time. And that just means that the customer is gonna get their order earlier than they were expecting, which 90% of the cases that I've run into like that, the people are ecstatic. You know, I've run into a couple of occasions where they specifically wanted it later. They went ahead and took it, and they were okay with it, but they just said that, for future reference, they would prefer to get it closer to the time that they asked. So, I would just go ahead and plan on taking it as early as you can, because when you get it finished early, that just also means that for the day, however many hours you're giving yourself for that day, you're probably going to be able to do a little bit more if you're finishing ahead of time. So, which that too means more money. So yeah, that was the entire order process from beginning to finish. So like I said, I think I'm done filming for the day. So yeah, like I told you before, man, just always remember that somewhere there's a beautiful sunset, man. So just always try to make sure you're getting out and seeing yours. So just try to always remember to smile a little bit more and stress a whole lot less. So until next time, deuces.